Diane, how rude. It is a very hairy grapevine. I agree with you. It's going to take a minute to clean up. How are you guys doing today? This is kind of impromptu, but I realize I have like a bunch of things I want to share. I mean, I have a list. That's how many things there are to share. I cannot believe it's already Thursday. Time is going by so quick. It is like 90 degrees here in New Hampshire. What are you guys dealing with weather-wise? Because it is like so stuffy here. It's one thing to be hot. It's another thing to be like, ugh. My blowouts cannot handle that. Oh my God, but I'm drinking sparkling lemonade from Market Basket. And it's like so good and refreshing. All right, so to start off with the announcements, Ashley from Three Little Greenwoods she's my Wreath bestie. She has been for quite a while. We are going to be presenting together at Wreath Makers Live. We're super, super excited that we get to do it together. And so, yeah, we've been working on that. We're working on a very special project, something unique. For Wreath Makers Live, the theme, it's all back to the future. So there's a couple of different like designer groups doing different parts of it. And so for Southern Charm Wreaths, we're doing the prom. We're doing Enchantment Under the Sea. Such a great name. So Ashley and I are going to be doing something under the sea related. So I hope you guys like it. Kristen's got 87 in Georgia. It just started raining. Dang it. It is shocking when you have your AC cranked and then you go outside. It's like walking into an oven. So, in addition from being able to present with my Wreath bestie, we are being sponsored by SureBonder. And you guys know SureBonder is the only company I use any of my glue tools from. So, they're providing us all the glue tools. They came in yesterday. I haven't peeked yet, so I'm just going to open them real quick. And then we'll get to our designing. But I was very excited. And I won't use these until the event. Let's see. They are like the nicest people. Like if you've been in my group before, they gave one of the members called looking to buy a t-shirt. And they gave her like a ginormous box of swag. Yeah, a huge box of swag with, I mean, I still have some of them. I give them away here and there. I'll probably bring some to Wreath Makers Live because there's like a really cute pin. I have a couple t-shirts. Okay, so Ashley and I are each getting one of these. Let me put this down. All right, so we've got our green glue skillet. It comes with the mixing sticks, which I used to make fun of. Now I understand the importance of them. I used to call them drumsticks. Okay, it comes with, so this is a bundle you can purchase from SureBonder, and I'll end up leaving a link. But yeah, I use the SureBonder pellets in my glue pot as well. They work fantastic. When they dry, like they are holding on for dear life. All right, and then this I've never had before. This is a glue pad. And oh my gosh, how many tables, you know, like when you start off on your dining room table, your kitchen table, like how many things could have been saved if you had this glue pad? And it's like silicone. Very, very nice. Ooh, I love this thing. Okay, let me see. I guess one of these boxes is going to be a duplicate. One set for me and one set for Ashley. And I can't wait for Ashley to use this because she has been using the kitchen skillets, which I know a lot of people love, and they just, you know, you use them and then when they die, you just chuck them in the trash. Like, I totally get that. But I think this is going to be a game changer for her. Then Surebonder gave us each, this is my favorite glue gun. Okay, so this is the cordless, and actually I have it right here. So it's high temp. You got to have high temp, because if somebody has an entryway that has like really heavy sun, it can actually melt the glue. And so you need to be using high temp products carefully. But anyways, so this is the cord/cordless, and it's because you can use it off of its stand, but then you can also just plug this right into the port underneath the glue gun if you don't want to have to keep, you know, recharging it. It is good. It gets hot enough, I'd say, to probably do about a full-size glue stick before you need to put it back on the stand, but it heats up very quickly. Very, very quickly. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Just turn this guy on. And then we have our glue sticks. So we are good to go for Wreath Makers Live. So very excited again. So thank you, Surebonder. We will be taking some photos of all of these amazing products up on the stage. But yes, this is a bundle. The glue pot, a bag of the pellets. These are stir sticks for the glue. And then this, which is my absolute favorite, is the silicone glue pad, which will totally protect your space. Also, if you're somebody who does, you know, overhead videos of making bows and things, like as much as I love like this marble, it's very busy. So having just a plain background would work very well. And this would definitely grab your attention. I had just started using it that way, Diane, because yeah, I was like, oh, I want it to be cordless, but then sometimes you like really want to keep going. Like when I do the back of a wreath, I know, or if I'm like, sometimes I just go around and I reinforce it, and it's like putting it back on and off and whatever. So yeah, I started just plugging it into the bottom, and it works like seamlessly. It's amazing. Hey, Valerie, nice to see you. How is it? I believe you're in sunny Florida. I was just talking about Ashley and I we're presenting at Wreath Makers Live. Surebonder has very kindly gifted us each a set. They're our sponsor. So we're going to be using their products for our demo. Hey, Verlene. I love when I see all your names pop up. All right, so as Diane pointed out, this is a very hairy grapevine. Okay, this actually might have been a cool one for Halloween, but I'm gonna clean it up. You know, you can use your hands, you can use wire cutters, scissors. As you know, I am a bit of a beast with things, so I'm just going to use my hands for the most part. Busy, busy, I like that, Valerie. Busy, busy is good. Are you into fall, or are you doing Christmas? Because even I like just turned my workshop over to fall the other day, and even my mom was like, why are you on Christmas? And I was like, thanks, Mom. I'm like, I already had it like enough, not anxiety, but like I already knew I had waited too long, and I'm like, that doesn't help. Doesn't help me, Kiki. So, yes. You love, yeah, Kristen loves hers too. It is a game changer. The glue pot especially, you know, I mean, when I started designing, which I was a teenager, and back in the day, and I don't even know, I mean, it's very self-taught, but I wired everything. Like, because my mom still has some of like the really old wreaths that I did. And I'm like, oh, it's so time consuming, and it's really not a great way of securing things like long term. Not that the wire is going to go anywhere, but you know, when you're dipping a stem into the glue pot, you're just getting so much adhesive on it to secure it to the grapevine. And I always like to double up and go back just to make sure, you know, that everything has, like, nothing's been missed, that the stems are all in there, like, nice and secure. You know, I have a customer who, her entryway gets so much sun that I made a wreath for her. She had it like for about a month, and it was D. Stevens chinoiserie ribbon. Okay, so it's not cheap at all, and it faded. And I was like, what the heck? So she's like, I get really heavy sun. So for that, I ended up replacing the bow because that's like so not, so not okay to have your bow fade that quick. But I ended up doing, like, you can put the floral spray on a bow because it's made for fabric. Our florals are like a form of fabric. So I ended up doing that. But whenever I design for her now, I go around and I put 3 treatments of that UV spray on it. And I space them out a little bit just so that they can really dry and they don't have any like film on them. You know, like not doing it like too heavy all at once. And then I like heavily double glued hers because I'm like, if you get that much sun, it's very possible that glue could melt. So high temp glue all the way. All right, so I've kind of cleaned up this beast. So I made a list of things I wanted to tell you guys because I didn't want to forget. So when Joann's closed, people very quickly, hey Cassie, nice to see you. I know this morning's thing was way too early. For anybody who is in the membership group, it's going to be available for replay. And it's basically Aaron, who's, you know, he's an inspirational speaker and an author. He, the name of it was like from taking like burnout and basically getting like fired up about what you do, because I think, you know, many people, myself included, there was like a lull in sales, and it's hard to kind of, it can be hard to keep going and stay motivated, but you want to be somebody who's there on the other side, because, you know, when consumer activity, you know, goes up again, which right now I feel like it is, you want to be prepared. You don't want to throw in the towel. And you also don't want to give up like all the things you've worked on. Like when you started making wreaths, did you think you were going to learn how to like live stream, do Canva, you know, maybe your Etsy shop, your direct website, web design? I mean, I've learned so many freaking things that aren't related to wreath making, but that you have to use as a small business owner. And I'm not going to easily let all that stuff go. Oh, you were in a training at 7 a.m. Okay. You're an early bird. I actually put on my phone like the 3 time zones because I do always forget, like, you know, where I am and where everybody else is. And so I had it in my head that if it was at 9 Central, that it was 11 here. And literally like 8 minutes before it started, I did not have my makeup on. I was not dressed. I was showered, but I just like I was kicking around. I was like looking, you know, looking at my bank account, like just doing like busy stuff. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh. So I did my makeup in 6 minutes. I have since refreshed, redid it, but it was a bit of a late start or a rough start for me. But the presentation, it was very interactive. It was fantastic overall. It had some really good points. One of which, all right, so just, I'll do a mix of like yapping and showing you what I'm doing. So right now I'm just making a loop, okay, to hang my wreath on. And then I just take a bow or a piece of ribbon and I just mark it. It's very easy for this to disappear. It's made to blend in. You know, we don't want to see the mechanics that we're working with. So I mark it with a bow just so I can find it again. And today, the star of our show that we're going to be working with, I just got these in. All right, so, and I wish I remembered how much they cost, but, so these are from TMI Gifts. They have a ton on them, okay? They are kind of, they almost kind of remind me of like dried florals because they kind of have that like crunchy little end to them. but they're Burgundy Peonies. They have everything on them. So we have some greenery. We've got some of the eucalyptus. It's got these really nice berries. So I wanted to do something around this. I think it's going to be fall, but it's going to be kind of like a romantic fall, I think. So I pulled a bunch of stuff because I was trying to figure out how much I want it to have contrasting colors or if I want to keep it more monochromatic. I'm leaning towards monochromatic, but like we shall see. So for this, I'm actually going to place the florals first. I know I love to put some greenery down, but I am so indecisive at this moment as far as where we're going to go with this design. So I'm going to just hold off. All right, and they did still have some of these left. So save 20%, promo code CARA20 off your entire purchase. And that leads me to my next topic, which is this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern, right? Yes, okay. Is going to be Christmas in July, okay? And it's through TMI Gifts private Facebook group. So whether you go on their website or if you go on mine, all you do is you just click the link, you answer, you know, your question, you give your email, because there's going to be tons of giveaways. Also, everything that day is going to be 25% off. So our promo codes aren't going to change. So even though it's still going to be like promo CARA20, you're actually going to get 25% off. And if you order any of the kits, you get 25% off. And then with the kits, it's free shipping. So that is a bonus. All right. I'm just cutting this up. I like the foliage on this. I mean, it's dark, but I kind of think that's what we're going for anyways. I think this could also make a beautiful romantic Halloween wreath. I could definitely see, like, you know, one of those skeleton brides kind of thing here. Cassie's working on a wreath with the same colors. You're working on two at once? Oh my goodness. If I don't finish one thing, like the chances of me going back are so slim. It's very hard for me to start something and stop. So God bless you, Cassie. Yeah, I went to Michael's the other day because we needed some like seashells and some things for Wreath Makers Live, and I'm not super impressed. They had a few nice things, but like I feel like they've kind of let go their florals a bit. I was excited that I was hoping maybe Joann's florals, because some of them are like top tier. A lot of them I know aren't, but there are some that are just like superstars. But no, Michael's is just taking their fabrics. So anyways, what I was saying about Joann's before is when they closed and they like dropped their website, scammers picked the website up like right away, and I should know better, but I went on joannofficial.com and they had grapevines for $1.80, and I was like, add to cart, you know, like check out now. And as soon as I did, and there were like a few issues with it, you know, like the transaction didn't go through the first time. It was just being weird. So that should have been my red flag to like stop and pause and take a minute. But it wasn't. I kept going, and then as soon as the transaction was completed, I then went and Googled it, and it's a scam. So I had to cancel my credit card. You know, had to call the company and make sure that didn't go through. So it didn't go through, but please let my mistake save you from getting scammed. If it looks too good to be true, it most likely is. So research before giving out any of your information, because I hope there's no like further fallout from that. All right, so right now I'm just separating everything. Okay, I like to know what I'm working with. I like to know how many flowers I have. All right, I need the berries. Let's see. All right, so for our florals, between the two bushes, we have 4, 6, 8. Okay, so we're going to do this like a pattern. Okay, we're going to do a full wreath, no bow, And it's gonna be beautiful. Beautiful. I did a live last night and I spilled pink drink, you know, like the Starbucks sticky, creamy pink drink. I spilled it all over like everything. I was so mad. I was like, you know, and if that was wine, I would have caught it. But it was not wine and I just wasn't paying attention. I just knocked it over. So this is lemonade. I obviously, again, want to make sure I do not spill it on everything. All right, so let's see. Let me make sure this is facing you enough. All right, and we're going to start right up top. All right, I'm going to be gluing as I go. All right, and I'm just putting the stem straight through the back, and then I'm going to clean that up after. I have a feeling the leaves on these are going to photograph really, really dark. So we'll see if in the end it drags the color down too much, then I can always snip them off. But like right now, they look beautiful. But you know how it is, like things in photos can look totally different from what it looks like right in front of you. So what has everyone been working on? Are you guys doing Christmas? Is my mom right? Am I like in big trouble here? Because I just broke out my fall stuff and it took me all day. I thought it was like 3 in the afternoon and it was 6:30 at night. It was just such an, it's such an undertaking because you have to kind of like clean and organize as you go. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting, and it's exhausting because you know you probably bought way too many things. Otherwise, it would be a lot easier. Let me see. Now, why do you guys have that purple thing next to your name? What is that? Everybody has a purple thing, I think. I have no idea what that means. If anybody knows what that means, let me know, because it looks like everybody... Is it that you've commented more than once? I don't know. There's light purple and there's dark purple. I don't know. If anybody knows, please tell me. I would appreciate it. Yes, so one of the things that Aaron talked about today, and I took notes because I will forget, something he called SVP, and he can do like a free assessment with you. I can find the link, but I think it's kind of like a personality test. So the S is for strength, the V is for values, and the P is for passion. And so and it doesn't necessarily need to be about your business, it's just an analysis for anything you want it to be for, but I was thinking of it in business terms. So one thing that jumped out to me was, he said, when you're determining your values or your mission statement or anything like that, if you're not sure what they are, sometimes it's something that you find the opposite to be very, very negative. Like something that you see that you really don't like means it goes against your values. That's why it's kind of like triggering you to have that response that you know you don't like it and that you wouldn't do it. And what immediately popped into my mind was when people gatekeep, and then to make it worse, they brag about gatekeeping. And I will immediately unfollow anybody that does that. I don't care if I know what they're talking about or not. I just think that's super rude. I feel like there is a huge community. People should be helping each other out. You know, like just because you tell somebody something does not mean they're stealing your sale. So, you know, and again, if you feel the need to brag about it, ugh, God help you. God help you. Because that is just not a good look. So yeah, And then your passion, I think we all kind of know what our passion is. And your strength could involve your talent. It could also involve maybe like your people skills, your ability to, you know, get your Etsy listing seen. There's a lot of different strengths you can have, but I thought it was really interesting. I thought the values thing was interesting. All right, I'm going to pull the leaves off of this because I think it's going to end up being too much. So even though I do like the foliage, I just have a feeling I'm going to end up regretting it if I keep all these leaves on. All right, so let's go through with these first. So these have some like little mini filler flowers, and then it's got the eucalyptus, and it's got like just a touch of kind of like a light burgundy at the bottom. And then it's like ombre, and it kind of goes up to like a nice light green. And because we're doing a pattern, we're going to just take one item and go through and plug it in. And as we go, the spaces are going to get smaller and smaller, and that's how we know where to put things next. Yeah, so on Saturday, I'm going to be going on for the TMI Gifts free Christmas in July. I'm going to be going on in the private Facebook group at, I think, 12:15. I'm pretty sure it's 12:15. But Ashley's in there. I think I'm not sure that Tarnation Creation, Lindsay's going to be there. Kayla's going to be there from Sweet Girl Designs. We have Courtney from Southern Owl. We have Victoria from Victoria Vines. We have a few others too. And then Lori from TMI Gifts is going to be doing some demos too. And if you've seen that woman make a bow, it is very impressive. It is like when you see somebody do something and you say like, wow, you make that look easy. She makes these like over the top bows, but she does it like so easily. And when she dovetails, she's one of the ones like she just cuts. She doesn't, you know, have to fold it or anything. You know, like John Mark does that too. That's the only time I've seen people do that. I don't know. It's very impressive to me. So Cassie, what is the second wreath you're working on? So we've got a burgundy-ish one. And then what else? Up here. I always love flower bushes that have like all this mixed material. All right, I'm pulling the foliage off of this too. And this is cute because it actually has, I'd say that's also supposed to be eucalyptus on it. All right. Hard to find good berries, I will say. These are really nice. These are just, I think they're just solid plastic, rubber, I don't know, but they're not even coated. They're just like heavy material. So those are gonna last. The purple icon, your top fan changes every life. How did I not know that? I've never seen that. Kristen, you're so smart. Thank you. Maybe because it's so bright, it just, I don't know. Interesting. All right, well, thank you. Mystery solved by Kristen. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to just keep starting in the same spot. So we're starting up top. Get our berries in. And we're just gonna go right around the clock again. Everywhere that we see an opening is our sign to fill it in. I know you guys know that corner is like my kryptonite when I'm designing and not facing it directly. I'll flip it over and see if I can get a better grip on it this time. Artificial florals have just come such a long way. Like, these are so beautiful. And I mean, you know, the catalog wreaths, I know that they look pretty in the catalogs. Like, these are like that quality. But the way that they are assembled is just terrible. It's made with not the grapevine base, but it's usually the angel hair, which it's easier to pull from angel hair because it doesn't have any like grooves. It's all just consistent. So as opposed to like a grapevine where you kind of have to like force it through in certain areas. So one, it's on the angel hair. I hope that's the right word, which doesn't hold a lot. And then usually they just throw in a bit of wire. So it seems pretty like haphazard to me. Years ago, I had a woman who called me and she bought a wreath from one of those big fancy catalog places. And she spent, I think, $300 to $400 on it. And it was really special to her because it was made up of roses. Her daughter's name was Rose. And so she loved this wreath. And she said that after, why am I being so indecisive here? She said after a few months, it all started to come apart. And so I do have a policy over not touching someone else's wreath because somebody once tortured me like to no end. So I vowed I would never ever touch someone else's wreath again. But I was so intrigued because I'm like, what does a $400 wreath, like what is it made up of? So curiosity got the best of me. So her and her husband came up here and I basically dismantled the wreath, put it on a grapevine. I used all the materials that were salvageable. I have a video of it somewhere because I do love to take manufactured wreaths and like redo them. But yeah, it was made so poorly. And I was like, you really should have just put that back on the company, but too much time had gone by at that point. Hey, Donna. Nice to see you. Doing a little fall wreath action here. All right, so this bush is from Pioneer, and actually I think I got this last year, and I don't know why I didn't use it because I don't think I realized it pulled apart like this. But you can have all of these individual pieces. So we've got, you know, what is it? Like it's kind of maroon, kind of like a dark mauve. This is kind of like a light orangish brown. Looks kind of like wheat. And then it has some of these little buttons that are also kind of that mauve color. And then the leaves are kind of like olive. So it's a good mix. Not sure why I didn't use it last year. Donna, are you going to be watching on Saturday for our Christmas in July event? And is anybody also, so I double downing on questions, is anybody going to Wreath Makers Live in Texas or watching virtually? Because I am so excited. I feel like I'm going to be super confused because you know how like when you know people from online and then you see them in person. Like, it's just, there's always that disconnect because you're so used to seeing them online versus in person. So I'm going to be highly confused, I'm sure. But yeah, every day there's a different theme. So on the first day of Wreath Makers Live, there's, well, the night before the actual like demos, there is, I want to make sure this is all going in the same direction. There is a meet and greet, and it kind of has like a high school-ish theme to it. I forget what the high school was, like Valley High or something like that. So I got me a varsity jacket, and I got a letter K. I need to put it on. Ah, Donna, I'm sorry. Like, COVID, go away. Go home, you're drunk. I'm so over COVID. How are you feeling? Just such like a bad, it's just such a bad time for people. The only positive was that they used to deliver Mai Tais. I was like, well, that's interesting. You can have Mai Tais delivered to your home. But that doesn't outweigh all that people had to deal with and go through. And also, like, the neurovirus has gone around a bit too. Like, if somebody is tested negative for COVID and the flu, like my parents had it. I'm trying to think of, I forget how they narrowed it down, but basically because they tested negative for both of those things, but they had similar symptoms, then I don't think they test for neurovirus, so they just said like neurovirus. They just said like, we think you have it. You're gonna not feel good for 3 days. Oh, your fever is 102. It's your third time. Oh my goodness. I hope you're hydrating. 102. You need lots of liquid. The Pedialyte. I want something to sleep too. Get rest. That stinks, Donna. Yeah, my husband got, during just like those couple years, I swear, I think he got it like 4 times. And I was like, are you licking doorknobs? Because like 4 times in like 2 years just seemed like a bit much. It was more than I had heard anybody else have it in such a short time frame. There were times I dragged him around because I'm like, you're fine. And then he'd test me. I'm like, all right, you were sick. Hey, Cheryl. Nice to see you. Cheryl, you were on the call today, right? Pretty sure, unless I'm mixing up my Cheryls. I am loving all the movement with this stuff. I always love working with something new. I wonder if Pioneer still has this year. All right, corner. Get you covered. Yes, okay, sure. I thought so. I just didn't want to like go too far and then find out that I was mixing up names. But yeah, I was talking about that whole SVP, the strength, value, and passion. It's always nice too to just be able to have people to talk about these things with. Like when you have a small business, you know, and if you're, whether it's wreath making or whatever, it can just get so isolating. Like if you're working from home, you know, you're selling online, you need to have that interaction. You know, if it's not you going into work, like you need to have like an outlet for it. And as much as our families love us, they can only take so much wreath talk. I mean, you know, my parents, like, God bless them, they try and hang in there for my stories, but at the end they're like, who's this? Who's that? I'm like, I know. It's my world, so I'm always talking about it. But it's hard. It doesn't necessarily translate to other people what the heck I'm talking about. Cheryl is saying it's worth rewatching. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was so not prepared for that call, Cheryl. I had my time zones all messed up. You have electrolytes. Yeah, electrolytes are good. Staying hydrated, and hopefully you're able to sleep. I just think that's like the best thing for you if you can do it, because the days are just very, very long. So summer, Donna, you shouldn't have to be sick. I don't like that. All right, starting top corner again. So now we're going to introduce some different colors. And let's see how many I have to. Okay, 7. Because I still haven't decided if I'm going to do something bright. I pulled some orange, but then I also pulled some really deep purple that, ooh, I think I say it right. Aubergine is what Pioneer calls it. And I think that's going to look nice. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. I legit almost like missed it. I had my time zones messed up. It's like, oh. I just don't know why they don't get rid of daylight savings, since it doesn't, I don't think we need it anymore, right? It had a purpose, and I feel like other countries have already, they've done away with it, so I don't know. I would love it if we could do away with it. One less thing to confuse me. Oh, yikes. I do not want to be touching the glue pot. No, no, no. I saw a reel from, I want to say it's Wreaths of Joy, and I want to say his name is Zach. Both of those things could be wrong, but he did like a reel where he had burned himself with a glue pot, and just like how painful like that is. I'm like, that's so relatable, because there's very little you can do in that moment. Why am I here? Except just try and like get the glue off and dry as fast as possible. I've seen like the glue things you can put on your fingertips. I feel like that would be hard to use, but I don't know. And I've heard of people who just put like some water, ice water near their workstation. I think that makes sense, because it really does blister. I mean, I don't know what the actual temperature is of the glue, but it is going to blister pretty much immediately. It is nice when the days are longer. I know. That's when it feels like summer, and then when the days get shorter, that's when you like want to cozy up in your home and put on your sweater and have, you know, warm apple cider and like all those things. Like I can do without summer. I do not like to be hot, and I burn, I do not tan. So it's just not my fave. Okay, I only have 3 of these. strategic. Cassie, how hot is it out where you are? You're in Vegas. I'm thinking it's dry heat, but a lot of it. When I went to Wreath Makers Live, it wasn't the last one. I think it was maybe 2021. And it was like opening the oven door. It was so hot. And like the first thing I did was I just had everything Instacarted to my hotel room. So I had all my breakfast stuff. I had all my like drinks, everything, snacks. Because I'm like, I'm not willingly going outside. And even going to the Dallas market, it was such a short walk. And I'm like, it is so hot. I just can't do it. So my daughter's going to be coming with me, but she's got a friend down there, so I doubt I'll be seeing her. But it'll be fun to travel with her anyways. All right, what are we thinking so far? Are we feeling this? I do like the orange. You're outside? Oh, you're tanning? See, yeah, I'd be fried. So you're in Pennsylvania, so you're probably in the same like 90 degrees, right? It's humid here. Like for me, I usually am not going outside until like nighttime when everything's cooled down a bit. If the humidity goes, I'm like fine. I think the humidity just is like way too much for me. I can just, like my hair just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, for anybody going to Wreath Makers Live, there's like a theme every day. So like I have been doing my shopping. I still have to do more because the last night there's a prom and I'm like, I ordered a few things off of Amazon, but they just like they didn't look like the pictures, shockingly. So I'm like, I think I just need to go to like the junior section and like shop like the large sizes because I just feel like that's the look from a 50s prom, like just kind of like that A-line thing. Oh, you have a pool. Yeah, you're in good shape. My parents have a pool, like they're next door, and I don't know why I don't use it more. It just seems like a lot of effort. But then when I go in, I'm like, oh, why don't I do this all the time? I forgot how nice this is. Just like, I usually don't go to the beach until almost the end of the season. Usually, I guess like September, because we do Girls Beach Day or Girls Beach Weekend with my friends. And I'm always like, why didn't I do this all summer? Like Newburyport or Plum Island has like the nicest beach. It's clean. It has like a bird sanctuary. It has restrooms, like it's got parking. It's so easy as far as like beaches go, and then I won't remember how much I love it until that day. I need to make some time for the beach, I think. I think we're gonna go up to the mountains next month. It's my husband's birthday, which I always like that. We go up to Waterville. We're kind of spoiled in New Hampshire where we get the ocean, and we get to enjoy the mountains as well. Like I know for people in Florida, like Valerie has, I love that everyone has, I don't know if it's everybody, but it seems like most houses in Florida have that caged in pool. And I'm like, that just sounds like, if you've ever watched one of Valerie's videos on Facebook, you can hear like the running water and it just seems like so tranquil. And Valerie is just very peaceful anyways, so it's all very much like the vibe. But yeah, I'm like, I would do that. I would love to have one of those. All right, so this is gonna be that aubergine, and I think I'm gonna pull the leaves off just because I think they're gonna contrast too much. Here in Kentucky, it feels like 98 thunderstorms. The thunderstorms will cool that right off. Yeah, the other day we were supposed to get a thunderstorm at like 6. And, you know, like Bruno's pretty much always like watching me from the window. And I looked and it was bright and sunny. And I'm like, he kind of looks like he's like wet. Like, and then I just didn't even think about it. And I was listening to like music, and in between songs, all of a sudden I realized it was like pelting rain. It was 3 in the afternoon. It was totally sunny. And the poor dogs were like getting soaked. Not that he necessarily cares, but I'm gonna pull the leaves off of these. Poodle skirt, that would be so cute with the bobby socks. That would be on trend, I think. Yeah, we have to do, not have to, we get to. See, Cheryl, what we have to do versus what we get to. I gotta practice that. We get to do, one night is dress like the decade of your birthday. So I have to find something for that because I was born in the 70s, but I don't like, I don't like the hippie clothes. So I have to find a different direction for that. And I forget, I was looking at like Farrah Fawcett, like people, like what the other options were, because I don't really want to go the disco route either. It'll be more likely disco. If it's only disco or hippie, I'll be in disco gear, but they're a lot. So Valerie's saying the pools are a lot of work. Husband has her hands full with the heat pump. Pools are a lot of work. I mean, I've never had one, but like my parents were just saying like how much it costs every year, and it's like they have a their pool is salt water, but it's like something just always seems to go amiss. You're not calm? You seem so calm. You look calm. You speak very calmly. You've got us all fooled then, Valerie, because you seem like a very calm, peaceful person. Somebody told me recently I was like, I think they said calm, but I forget what the wording was. It was something similar. And I'm like, tell that to my husband. He would never in a million years say that I was like relaxing to be around. Well, hello, Tina. How are you? Have you been busy? Probably. Usually are. Has that coaching group started for you? Or actually, did you sign up yet? I think you did. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the colors. Hey, Michelle. Yep. So Michelle from Fawn Haven Farm, her parents have the saltwater pool too, and it's a lot of work. And it's a lot, like the amount of salt you need to put in it. It's just, the whole thing is just very expensive. They love it because the grandkids, come over every Sunday and swim in it. So to them, it's definitely like worth it. But I don't know when the grandkids outgrow it. Actually, I don't know that they're going to want it as much. Let me just see, because we have one that's single. Okay. Yeah, and my parents' pool is like 5 feet deep. And when they built it, I'm like, that is such a terrible idea for resale. And they were like, we'll be dead. We don't care. It's not going to be our problem. It's going to be like your problem that the pool is 5 feet deep. I was like, I can't wait to be of age where I just don't care. Like on the radio, they did a poll, like what's more obnoxious, like a rude child or a rude, like an elderly person. And I'm like, elderly people are hysterical. There's nothing that's going to be offensive to me than an elderly person says. Kids, they might wear down my patience a little bit faster, but not the elderly. Like, my grandmother was just hysterical. She just did not care. Like, anything she felt like doing, she did it. Okay, let me turn this because we all know what I do here. I'm gonna miss this whole side. It is very moody, I agree. Oh, Tina, I'll follow up because, so for the coaching group, and it's one that I'm in, it's run by Lauren Kilgore and then Aaron, the one who ran the presentation today. And so I know that they need enough people because what they do is they kind of make like subgroups. And it is like a true masterclass. Like, you have people that you are sharing resources with. So like when you see, you know, if you're in my membership group, you're going to get some of Ashley's videos, some of Melissa from TCT Crafts. Like, it's a true masterclass in the sense that everyone is like offering up things to one another just to further their business. So I know Lauren was looking into trying to identify some other people because they have to be at like a similar like level kind of thing. I don't know the specifics. I just know like when you apply, you know, they ask about your sales and all that stuff. So Tina, I think she's working on it because she, like I said, she did ask recently, and I was like, okay, that must be what it's for. All right, where to go next? So here's where decisions need to be made. All right, I just got these from TMI Gifts, and I love them. I want to find just traditional blackberries, but these are awesome. So these could go. I'm actually gonna, you guys, please like let me know what you think, because it could go a lot of different ways. All right, so I'm probably going to end up using some of this, but again, it's like, it's very monochromatic, so it's a matter of like, do I want to break that up? Then I have these guys. I bought two now. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I mean, I could use them here. I kind of think maybe they're too big, but these are called Lily Turf sprays. And I think they're so cool. I can kind of picture them for like that over-the-top arrangement. I was kind of thinking, I think it's too big. Okay, I will find something fun for this. Then there's an option of introducing orange. Okay, so there's that orange. Or there's this orange. Okay, so that's if we want to contrast versus monochromatic. That's where we're at right now. Those are kind of like the decisions. Because we could also go in with more purple. This one has a little bit of a brighter hue than the aubergine. That might be a good one. Oh, are you talking about the ivy? Because yeah, this is a good bush. This is from Pioneer, and they're not cheap. Like I feel like they're over $10, but there's a lot on it. And if you watch my unboxing last night with TMI Gifts, they have the maple leaves, like the super vibrant ones. And there was just a ton in like that one bush. It was definitely a great value. All right, then we have these And I forgot what they're called. I know one is olive and one is terracotta. I don't think they're tea leaves. Cheryl, I feel like we talked about mixing them for whatever project we're gonna do. The ivy is so pretty. Oh yeah, you watched the unboxing. I do think these two go very well. So, I think I'm at a crossroads of if I want to put orange in or not, because we can keep it monochromatic, but lighten it up a little bit with some of this, and then the ivy's not gonna change that monochromatic part, but I also had this. The tips of them were nice too. That might be like a little bit of a contrast. You vote orange. All right. Michelle, I think you're voting orange as well. And which orange? I have a feeling it's this one, but there's also this one. So the little button orange, or these are like a mixed dahlia. They kind of have some like red to them. Like there's no wrong answers with any of these things. It's just a matter of like what direction to go in. Yeah, I love that fern too. I don't know where it's from. I feel like it's one of those things that I just every year keep packing up and unpacking. So let's use the fern. Let me know if we're going with the buttons or the dahlia. And then we'll see if we want to use the leaves or not. All right, Michelle is saying mixed dahlia. Tina's saying small orange. So I need a tiebreaker here. Somebody break the tie. Dahlias or the little buttons? Oh, and you know what else I have? So I love these from Hobby Lobby. My only gripe with them is that if they get scuffed sometimes, then you see like the white on them with like where the foam's exposed. These look pretty good though. This is gonna look nice. All right, we're doing buttons. I was working with dry foam earlier and like I can feel, I think I must have like, it must be in the air. All right, let's see. Get organized, Cara. All right, so let's start with our dahlias. No, buttons, I'm sorry. And I also have these. I got these from TMI Gifts as well. So I'll put those aside too. Got berries for days here. Yes to the berries. All right. So let's see here. I want to take the foliage off. Yeah. All this foliage is coming off. It's actually very fabric looking anyways, so probably would have taken it off regardless. Yeah, so anybody who's in the membership group, you can watch this morning's presentation. I'm pretty positive it's the same link that I posted in the private Facebook group. Cheryl has already said it is definitely worth watching the replay. And I agree. I'm probably going to watch it again as well. Sometimes you miss things when you're like having to answer questions. You're not as present because you're like thinking of what your answer is going to be. I know, it'd be like really cool to just, I don't know, like have a bunch of things out and just like, oh, foam, for somebody to just say like this, you know what I mean? Like you're basically like in the driver's seat. Because there have been so many times, like I remember we made the wreath for the fallen police officer, and everyone helped me with the bow. The bow was like a struggle, and a lot of great ideas, like a lot of techniques that I never would have tried came out, and basically like the whole bow was remade based off of people's suggestions. I know. I can't even think about winter yet, Tina. Can't even think about it. I wish time didn't go by so fast, and I really, really hope that people start celebrating fall more. Like, oh, sorry, foam. The culture has just gone so into Halloween, and I like Halloween. I don't like to be scared, so I don't love it as much as other people do. But I love celebrating fall, and I feel like last year that didn't really happen. People, and you know, and I get it, like somebody explained it to me, like once they put up their Halloween stuff, ooh, hello. Once you get your Halloween stuff set up, you don't want to take it down. So like they just want to have one thing to decorate, but again, I just think it's like a missed opportunity. You know, because there's Thanksgiving too. This guy is in the wrong direction. You should be going the same direction as everybody else. All right. Yep, I mean, Halloween is already out in the stores. But I don't know. Getting ready for all those 6-foot skeletons. I don't know what the heck people do with them off, like, the rest of the year. My brother and his family, they go, like, all out for Halloween. They have one of those houses, like, for Christmas that, you know, the newspaper or, like, somewhere will say, like, these are the houses to go look at Christmas lights. They go, like, all out. But it looks like a lot of work, and I just don't know where you store those things. They had, like, one of those really creepy clowns, which I'm just scared of those anyways. And it was, like, in my nephew's room for a long time. And I was like, I don't know how on earth a child sleeps with that in their room. It's terrifying. He asked me, so he's, how old is he now? I think he's 10. He asked me to make him a wreath for his door. And I was like, okay, what is like the theme? And he's like, chickens. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me just pull out all my chicken supplies. So I have to figure that out. I guess that could be like maybe ribbon with like the chicken wire. I don't know. I can't see putting like actual chickens on it unless there's like a cute sign. A cute sign would work. Has anybody made a chicken wreath? I mean, it could also, I guess, be something like more farmhouse. If you don't have winter ready, you don't have time because you're busy making fall. Yeah. Chickens, I know. I was like, that's so random. Yeah, Michelle, I'm with you. Like, Thanksgiving is, it should be a more celebrated holiday. And last year, it just felt like Christmas and Thanksgiving were just so, I don't know what it was. They just felt so close together that it was like, it'd be so nice if holidays were spread out a little bit more instead of just having, you know, 2 big family gatherings or whatever in a month. All right, let's see. wish I had one more of these bushes. I may order more. So for Saturday's event, in addition to all of the giveaways that they're doing, which they're going to let me know like what that looks like if they're jumping on in between presentations or what, but they're giving out a lot of stuff. They are doing 25% off. So it's like you could wait and hope to grab whatever you want to grab on Saturday. But then the other problem is like once things are out, usually they're out. So then like my hoarding anxiety takes over and I don't want to wait. Like I don't think I'm going to wait to order more of these because I don't want to miss out on them. I used this super pretty ribbon yesterday. It was from that Deluxe, that D''Lux. It was so pretty and it was sold out. All of their ribbon has been so nice. I don't know where that company came from. I hadn't heard of it until this spring, I think, when they had their hydrangea wreath. But the quality on them is beautiful. I want to say they say the back of them they're fused or something. They're very, very sturdy. Like you have to really manage them. Put you up. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, I guess someone was saying Craft Outlet carries some of their ribbon, and I forget where else, but if you see that brand, it just seems very trustworthy to me. Just, when you see D. Stevens, you're like, okay, this is great quality. Reliant Ribbon. Oh, I have their catalog. They have so many beautiful ribbons for Christmas. And I have so many ribbons here, and I just want them to disappear. So I have room for more because I have a whole shoe rack and then a few drawers of them. And Kiki is in charge of the ribbon. She changes it all out. And she's like, you better not get any more. She don't have anywhere to put it. So I did take a video, one of those, what are they called? When everything's sped up. Oh, a time lapse. That was really, it took me a long time to remember. I did a time lapse of flipping the workshop, and then I did a little tour, but the overflow room right now, it's not, I did work on that too, but it was like an all-day affair. It was exhausting. I came upstairs and my husband looked at me and I'm like, if I cook anything right now, it's going to be hot dogs with potato chips on the side. I said, I just don't have any more juice left in me. I'm done. I'm spent. Ooh. Roosters, yes. Roosters would be good. Cassie, I love that you're in a training, but you're here. Thank you for popping by. Yeah, I hope you do catch the replay. And always nice connecting with you, my beautiful friend. So I'm going to just try and fill in some of these gaps, and then we'll see where we want to go with our berries. I know. I have, back to your point, Tina, I have some that didn't sell last year for both holidays. So I'm I feel like at least I have something in my shop. Not that I want to be carrying over things. But at least I have some stuff. So if somebody goes to my website, you might only have one shot to get somebody's attention. So at least there's something there. But you know, you always want to do something new and do something different. That is the fun of it. All right, let's see. This one is just going to be a straight up filler. I'll get this big gap right here. I feel like there was something new on Etsy that I wanted to tell you guys about. Some type of promotional thing. Oh, okay. So, you know, when you're in your Etsy shop, it has that little notification area. It's always worth looking at. Like, it's underneath your stats. It has announcements. Sometimes they pertain to us. Sometimes, you know, they don't. But they had, they're doing a promotion where if you agree to, well, if you agree to participate, basically, they give you a specific link. And if you advertise with that link, and that link is what sells your product, I'm pretty sure they waive all transaction fees, not the taxes, obviously, not shipping, but as far as like their transaction fees, they don't take anything out. So if you do use links anyways to promote your Etsy listings, then it's worth checking out. Especially when you have like a big ticket item. You're so excited, and then you see, you know, like, Uncle Sam's got this, shipping is here. They live in California. That's going to be really expensive. And that's why we always want to keep the size of the boxes as low as possible. If I can get something in a, like, this is going to end up being in a box that's like 20 by 20 by 8 because it's full. But other than that, it's probably about 22 inches in diameter. But it's okay to like have things come compact because they're not shifting around. It's always good to have a care card in there that says, you know, like when you get your wreath, you might want to fluff, you know, you're probably going to have to fluff it up a little bit. You might want to fluff it up, you know, and offer assistance. I was actually thinking about making, I kind of have a video about it, but like making one for customers on what they can do to keep their wreaths lasting. Because the one I have right now it's actually kind of more for wreath makers, I would say, than for customers. But I was like, that'd be pretty cool. Because if you spend, you know, 150, 200 bucks on a wreath, like, you want it to last. If you don't care if it lasts, then you're going to go to like a big box store and get, you know, a Joanna Gaines special or a Martha Stewart special. But if you get something handcrafted and it's expensive and you spent a lot of time like finding the perfect one for your home, then you want it to last. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm convincing myself as I speak. And then maybe I'll just send them the link, like especially if it's an Etsy sale, because you can just use the messenger feature and just send it to them there. Hello, Anne from Dublin. Thank you for joining us. What time is it there? My daughter spent the first semester this year in Ireland, and it's near Galway. I think Dublin was like maybe an hour away. It was at an art school in Clare County, maybe? I'm sure I'm botching like every piece of that information, but she loved it. She got there right when that hurricane happened, which was not the best experience or timing. But she survived. If I could go back and do this wreath over, I would do these pieces after, because I can just see they're not standing out like they could be. Like maybe doing more of this on like the foundation would have made more sense than me going in right now and covering things. This is the creative process here, because I think that could have been done differently in hindsight. At this point, if I go and pull it all apart, they're going to be ruined because they're almost like feathers. Let me just see. This corner is always under decorated. So let's just get this more even. It usually just takes a little bit of like greenery. Let's see how that fares. The loop is here. All right, I feel like that is better. It might be a little heavy actually. It's 20, 29. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, you're five hours ahead. That's right. I need to go to Ireland. My daughter's been there like, yeah, she's been there 3 times and I have not gone. I know we want our children to live better lives than us, but I'm jealous, so I want to go. All right, and then we're going to have some of this just like trailing nice and wild. I swear I just heard somebody knocking. Yeah, I always like some unexpected elements. Like I feel like this is a good one for that. Oh, I knew I had a request for members. Okay. If you're in the membership group, I've been working on this like project behind the scenes. I've been working on this project because it got a little slow and it was like the right time to do it. So basically I'm going to be the overall offering like a course on how to run wreath workshops. So like how to get started, how to make connections, how to price them. So for each season, there's going to be like a recipe. So I think last week I showed you guys the fall wreath. So that's going to be this fall's wreath recipe for the workshops. So there's going to be spring, fall, Christmas, and then there's the floral arrangement that I already sent you guys. But editing is not my strong suit because I get distracted. So I wanted to tell you that if ever you see the following, there are things that I do when I botch things. One is I just stare off into space because I'm thinking. Okay, so I do that. That's a bad one. 2 is that I go like this because that's supposed to be my cue. I'm supposed to catch that when I'm editing, that hello, somebody's waving their hands, like it's supposed to be edited. The 3rd is that I swear. I was definitely dropping some F-bombs as I tried to record the same thing over and over and over again. So if ever you guys see those in my videos, could you please tell me, because I would really appreciate it. I am like so afraid that there's just like videos of me just like looking into the abyss as I try and like process what I said that was wrong. So yes, please help me out. because I want that course to look professional, and I'm just like so afraid that there's going to be some of that in there. Hey, Amber. Nice to see you. Charlotte's like funny, but it's not. When I watch them, like I almost want to like take them and just do like a compilation of all, like, you know, like the bloopers, because the more I mess something up, the worse it gets. Like I can't get the sentence out. The more I mess it up, and then it becomes like a much bigger thing than it needs to. I know. Human. It is funny. Like I watch myself and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just staring off. Staring off. I am very human. You guys see all the things I do. All the silly things I do. But I'm fine with that. Alright, so I'm gonna make these a little smaller. Alright, so you always want your materials to work for you. So if that means you have to strip things off or bend them a certain way, it's definitely better than just like trying to save all your stuff and put in more material than you want. Because I don't want this to have a ton of color. I just want it to have like a few little pops. I hope that comes across. I was thinking, you know, about like certain people you connect with, like certain people I enjoy watching more than others, or it just keeps my attention. And like for me, if somebody doesn't have like a sense of humor, I have a hard time staying engaged. If it's super serious, it just doesn't grab me the same way. So I have to laugh at myself because I mean that's who I am anyways, but you know, perfection is a bit overrated, and I think that, you know, people connect better with people who are genuine. That's what I think, anyways. All right, so let's go in with just little parts of this. Facing you. I'm gonna get that corner too. Oh, geez, this one's too small. Maybe a bigger one. Okay. So, Anne, I don't know if you're still with us on this or not, but I've made 2 wreaths that went to Ireland, and one of them went to a couple, and they're friends of ours, and the husband is like this like big, I mean, like he's like the size of Gronk. I mean, super sweet guy, like very nice, but like if somebody flirts with his wife at a bar, she's like, trust me, you like want to get away from me. Like, please go away. Like, it's for your own sake. But yes, they requested a wreath a few years ago, and it was in honor of his dad, who is still with them, but he is in like a memory loss ward called the Butterfly House. So I kind of made it like according to that theme, and he would not hang it outside because he was afraid of somebody taking it. So then I was wondering, do people hang their stuff outside in Ireland in general? Because like I had to order flowers for something, and you know, everything there, from what I can tell, like it's all real, and I don't think like preservatives or any of those, I don't think those things are used. Could be wrong. Also, with a lot of the florists, I noticed that they don't come in a container. They send out bouquets and you put them in your own container, which I thought was cool. Because I know that's kind of how the French have their own vessels or like vases, And so they just like invest in, you know, maybe like 3, but they're expensive. And so they'll actually take those vessels down to the florist. And from there, the florist asks, you know, like, where is this going to go? Is it going on a mantle? Is it going to be on a side table? Is it for your dining room table? And then they go from there. So like, you don't just call in an order to a French florist. It's just not how they work, which I think is really cool. I went to a floral workshop with a woman who she goes between here and France. She owns, she's American, but she owns a place called La Flore in Andover, and it's named after a florist that I don't think she worked there in France, but I think she kind of like volunteered and like hung out there when she was like 18 or so. And so she has like introduced that concept here, but she did say like at first people, you know, weren't into like answering all of those questions. Like they just wanted their flowers. They didn't want to have like a big to-do about how it's being used and, you know, having your own vessel and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool that she has like brought that tradition here. So now I'm always looking for vessels, something like special, because they do not do like the glass vases, which I think makes sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure like everybody here probably has just a bunch of them all stacked up, and you know, they take up space. You don't want to get rid of them, and they just end up, you know, sitting kind of. I appreciate you, Cheryl. Thank you. All right, decisions. I definitely want to use these because they're like slick looking. Do we want to use these as well? All right, so I'm going to start putting these in, and you guys let me know yay or nay on these berries. And these are cool. These have like a nice hard coating. I'm always a stickler for like that stuff. And for this, oh, see, this is like what I mean. It's like if one of these has any damage to it, you see the white foam. I'm always snipping that off. I wish that they could make these a better quality because they look beautiful. And I haven't really seen anywhere else that sells something like this. Yeah, see right there too. It's like once you take one off, you just make another one that's a mess. This is like surgery here. Very surgery, very serious. Went to school for a long time for this. All right, I think it's good now. So let's have these across from one another. There's a ton of like textures in here. Spread that out. Make sure there's nothing with white foam showing. Such a pet peeve of mine. There's that one aisle in Hobby Lobby that I just get so carried away in. It's got the pumpkins and it's got all the picks. And the last thing I need to buy are more pumpkins. So I am like staying away from that store because I just get way too impulsive there. All right, we're going with the berries. I love it. I think they're gonna have a nice pop. Yeah, and it's just a little, like you said. It'll just be like a little touch. A little touch of that brightness. Do you guys use these berries? I wish you could just like spray paint them, but I think you'd ruin the rest of them because they have like that, they look lacquered, which is what I like about them. These I'm gonna break up. So I have to start practicing for Saturday because you have an hour to do your kit. So not only is my kit like this 6-foot behemoth like garland, it's gorgeous. I'm super excited about it. But then I also have a second kit that is a matching wreath, and I have to do both in the hour. So the wreath is not going to be that complicated. It's got like a big D. Stevens banner on it, so I'm not too worried about that. But just I'm like gonna have to stay really aware of the time because I don't want to have like an incomplete project. Same thing when Ashley and I do Wreath Makers Live. It's like you have 45 minutes, and if you're not done, your project just doesn't get finished on stage. I'm assuming it gets finished off stage, but you have to keep an eye on the time, or else you're gonna end up with an incomplete project, which is the last thing I want. I'm so glad you guys like it. It is a tall task. I'm not 100% sure what I was thinking. I know what I was thinking, but I get so excited. You know how it is. Like, I think that, you know, we geek out about this stuff because it's just like so pretty and you just like want to have an opportunity to work with it. But I'm definitely going to have to eat my Wheaties that day and make sure that I am like on point. There's some designers I'm not familiar with, so I'm very excited to see their demos because there's a ton of wreath makers. Cheryl, have you seen, I joined a group today or yesterday, and it was like called something like the Wreath Design Group of Pennsylvania. And I feel like it's a group of like 8 designers, and they have like an upcoming free virtual event. Have you heard of them? Because it looks cool. And just because there's a ton of wreath makers doesn't mean that there's not, you know, enough space for everyone to sell, because there is. Everyone's work speaks to a different clientele. So it doesn't matter how many people are in the space, as long as you keep exercising that you are the special sauce, then the sales will come. And like we did that topic today because I just, you kind of see like, at least in my area, I feel like there's been several small businesses that have closed, and it makes me so sad because I think like how hard it would be to close my business, but I don't have a brick and mortar. So like to let go of a brick and mortar, like a restaurant, a shop, like I can't even imagine like what that would be like. But you want to be able to weather the storm. So, you know, if things have been slow, shop your inventory. Always shop your inventory. It's so fun to shop for like new things, but like here, I had several things that were from last year. This was from last year. This whole bush thing was from last year. This was from last year. So like, don't shop until you have gone through what you already have, because otherwise you might forget that you have it, and then you end up with duplicates. And when you have stuff just sitting, it's like money that could be in your pocket. It could be money that goes back to, you know, if you use your business credit card or something like that. And I think too, you can take expensive elements and mix them in with less expensive and still come out with like a great quality project. Let me see. It's so sad. I feel terrible when businesses close. It's just, I can't even imagine. Like, do you ever watch like any of the Gordon Ramsay shows? It's like those people are like in debt like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like they could put $1 million into like a steakhouse. Like I just can't imagine what that feels like. It just, I mean, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'm sure those people can't sleep. Like it's a lot. And it's so, you know, when all these businesses opened, you know, it's like such an exciting time, and to just not have it work out. You know, Amazon is just a behemoth, and everything is so, it's just so easy to access. And I'm guilty of it, and I always like, the right thing to do is to shop local, because if you don't shop local, you're going to end up with no gift stores, no boutiques, like none of that stuff. You know, like our mall is like, it's got mostly sneaker stores, you know, like there's not a whole lot of like nice stores, whereas in the town over, there's like this really beautiful boutique called Willow, and she picks out like the nicest clothes and home decor. They're priced fairly, like I would never want to lose a store like that. So you have to go in and you have to support those stores. All right, I think she's done. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna do a little bit of zhuzhing, but in general, I think she's done. So what I'm gonna do is, so this is what the back of it looks like, okay? And so I put everything straight through. I feel like I can just kind of control like where the floral placement is. People have different ways of doing it, so I tend to trim, but the other thing that you can do too is if you have like the stems that are long enough like this, you can take it and you can weave it right back into the grapevine. And then it's like, not only have you glued it, but it's the same as like wiring it. So that's what I like to do now whenever I can, if the stems are long enough. So I'm gonna go through and just weave these back in. Yeah, we are so lucky, I think, to have each other and to have this community. Like I was saying on that call earlier, like I legit I texted Melissa last night and asked her if I could basically copy her wording for something, because I'm like, I am so hangry right now. I'm like, I just want to like borrow yours if I can. And she was like, no problem. Which, like, Tina, that's the beauty of that mastermind group, is having people that like are there to share, you know, and then you reciprocate and all that stuff. And so, you know, everyone's businesses can grow. It's not competitive. It's, you know, I really can't remember life without Melissa. I don't know how I didn't know of her before, because she is just so smart and so talented and just super, super nice. So if you're not already following Melissa from TCT Crafts, you should. She and her family, they are in the process, or her home just got built. Okay, so I'm gonna trim the rest while I'm yapping. But yeah, they got like almost 100 acres of land. And so several of her family members are building their own homes. So her parents are gonna be in one. I think maybe one or two of her kids. And so so the house that they built is like, it's amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But you kind of get to see that also, because she sells supplies. She has a warehouse there that's like on the grounds. So you get to see that too. Plus she has German Shepherds. I mean, I could have just stopped there. That's enough for me. If you've got a shepherd, then I already like you. Cheryl, you have a beautiful shepherd. I can't even imagine how much vacuuming you have to do, because here it is like every other day, or it's just tumbleweeds everywhere. And I tried to take out the dog's coats myself, like with the Furminator, and I'm on like ×6. I don't know how a groomer gets it all at once. It is like never ending. I think I got it all, and then I look and I'm like, they're falling apart again. But for my girl dog, I thought she was like gaining weight or like was overweight. And then I did the Furminator on her, and so much fur came off. She was like so thin, not thin, but I'm like, I would like to get a haircut where I look like I lost like 20 pounds in 10 minutes. Oh, Bar Rescue. Yeah. That one seems like so staged, over the top. Gordon does have a new one, and he's like, it's like he's a spy. And I get it, you know, he's a guy's guy. He is living out whatever boy fantasies he has. So, like, they show him, you know, dropping from the ceiling, putting cameras up to, like, spot rats. Like, I'm like, I guess maybe if I was that rich, I would just do something so asinine. Because, again, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I love him, but I was like, this is something I can't even watch. Oh, you have 3. That's right. Vacuum a couple times a day. I do use the leaf blower because, like, the back porch, it all comes off everywhere. And actually, when this basement was unfinished, and I was looking through old photos because for Wreath Makers Live, like, we needed to show, like, kind of like where things started and where they are now. When this was just an unfinished basement, I used to take the leaf blower and I just, like, blow everything, like, just all the dirt, all the dust, and then I just pick it all up on one side. I was like, that was an easy way to clean, I will say. And I found the video of my first day of work here when I left my job, and I'm like so excited. So excited for my new venture. That was like 2021. I'm gonna post that on Facebook because I just think it's funny. But yes, I used to just have everything like sheets rigged up, like anything I could to make it feel a little bit more homey. I did. So there's definitely a lot of glue hairs on here. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna pull a bunch off. And then also I'm gonna take a warm hair dryer. And typically, like, you can just have the glue, it's gonna melt like clearly on there, and then you don't have to deal with the mess. So pour on the dog. They have a Furminator that it hooked up to a vacuum, and I got it, but my dog was too afraid of it. She was too afraid of the vacuum noise, but I was like, that would be fantastic, because then it's just all coming off and going right into the vacuum. You know what I could see this as too? If this was small, and I don't really feel like people have these as much as they used to, but like, you know how you can have like a candle, like a hurricane inside? Like, wouldn't this be so cute if it was like 12 inches or 10 inches with these colors? I could totally see that for Thanksgiving. For the whole season, really. All right, guys. Well, thank you for designing with me. Thanks for popping on, because I know I'm not always the best with giving notice. But yeah, I hope to see you guys in the free Facebook group with TMI Gifts. Saturday, it starts at 9 a.m. Central. Kicks off with Ashley, my Wreath bestie from Three Little Greenwoods. So she curated a really nice kit. You're going to see a whole bunch of designers, a whole bunch of giveaways, and then the discounts are going to be 25% off, which is a big, big discount. So, because their things are already very well priced. So, all right. Well, you guys are very welcome. Thank you for keeping me company. And we will be designing again soon. And I'll post a picture. All right. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.